Well, hi everyone. Here we are again with Sandie Mom. I can't sleep vlog. Actually, it should probably be Sandie Mom. I woke up vlog, but no, I can't sleep. I woke up and I can't sleep. Okay, it's getting too complicated. So, just like last night, I woke up around between 2 and 2:15 a.m. And, it's the usual routine. You wake up, I went to the bathroom. I don't know if I had to go, I just went. It's like automatic. I don't know. I don't know if I do it every time. I don't think so. But anyhow. So I turned on a vlog and a new one was there. You know how they show you, oh, guess what? That word, altruism. Oh, I'm too tired. What's the word? When you're doing your spiel at the end. I haven't said it in a while. Please subscribe, comment, like. It helps with the algorithm. That's the word, algorithm. It really helps. It helps. Thank you for the new subscribers, by the way. You guys helped. You helped. It helps. Everything helps. But anyhow, that's what it means. So anyhow, what did I just say? It made no sense. Anyhow, so the video of the evening that was chosen for me was a woman who was pregnant. Now, why would they choose that for me? I haven't been watching any videos. Oh, so maybe the algorithm isn't right. I don't know. Why would I watch happy marriages and pregnant women? Nope. Don't want my heart hurting anymore. But anyhow, it started out with, it was just a short, and she was showing her New York City apartment, well, her and her husband's. I don't get it. It is, I think, between 500 and 600 square feet. Do you know how little that is? That's like, I can't even, I don't know. It's very little. Because, think about rugs. I don't know. I know I have a very big living room, so it's probably smaller than my living room. But anyhow, so she was given a tour. I had to take some medicine, and it has a bad taste. I don't know if the last year has a god-awful aftertaste. But anyhow, so she's showing this little tiny thing. And I watched another couple who also live in a New York... Oh, did I say they live in New York City? They live in New York City. And so they were saying the apartments, or their rent was $5,500 a month. And I'm thinking, $5,500 a month. Do you know what kind of, I was going to say beautiful house, you'd be buying a castle if you could pay $5,500 a month for your mortgage payment. And I'm pretty sure if you could pay $5,500 a month for a mortgage payment, you could probably put a lot of money down and wouldn't be that much, but still, my goodness. And you can't write all that off anymore. You used to be able to write off your interest. Like when you make, I'm not going to go too much into real estate. Back to the couple. Okay, so I'm like, wow, what a waste of money, because rent is just putting your money down the toilet. But understand, you have bad credit, you don't have down payment, whatever, you can't get a house. I mean, there's nothing wrong, no shame, but I'm just saying, holy cow. So anyhow, then they start off with, boy, I hope I don't run out of room, but let's just do the best we can here. So they start out that she had a little spotting. This is going to be TMI, but, you know, this is life. This is how we all came to be, so it's life. She had some spotting. She woke up, and I guess they were at the hospital the night before. She thought her water broke, and she was 40 weeks, a little over 40 weeks. And so they went and they Ubered it. You know, they talk that way. Ubers cost a lot of money. So, you know, they got a lot of money. I did subscribe. I want to know about them, what they do. I'm just interested in that part. But, you know, now they got a new baby and all that. Happy. Too much happy for me right now. But anyhow, so they found out she had just peed herself, which happens quite a bit in pregnancy. You may think your water broke and you just peed yourself. You think you know the difference, but you don't. But anyhow, so she had, like I said, some spotting, and that's, you know, nothing to fool around with. So they were thinking, would they be sent home again? They hope not. But there was no no, we're not going. They called, they went, they got there. And the doctor came in and said, I'm going to induce you tonight. Just like that, like not saying, do you want it? But no, of course they said, do you want it? They gave them a choice. And it brought me back to the memories of my two children, my two last children, 7 and 8, that had to be induced. And let me tell you, not to scare anyone if you're pregnant, and I don't mean to, but I would rather have I don't know, 24 plus hour labor than being induced, and I was. Number 6 was, oh my goodness, at least a 24 hour. Let's see, when did it start? When was he born? I don't know. Oh yeah. 29-hour labor. Baby number 6. And it was the biggest baby I had, 8 pounds, 5 ounces. And I remember when I was in high school, there was a girl and her sister was in labor, and they said she was like already over 24 hours in labor. And, you know, back then I didn't know anything about labor and, you know, what all goes on. I thought, oh my God, that must be horrible. Well, yeah, mine was. Mine happened to be a horrible, 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 painful labor. And I just wanted to stay home because I was like a seasoned pregnant woman. I knew what went on, so the longer you get to stay home, the better. And I'll have to tell this story one day. So anyhow, where was I on the movie? Not the movie, a vlog. Oh, tonight was not a movie. It was a vlog. I went to watch vlogs. Did I say movie? Okay, I'm a bit tired. So anyhow, they went, Ubered it, got there. Oh, I already said the doctor said that. And so they had a problem. There was all the, they said ORs, but I think they meant the, you know, the room where you have the baby in. I should know what they're called. Well, from the beginning, my first child was that you went to delivery room, you know, it was different. But now you have a room you go in where you labor and deliver unless complications. And they were saying, such a good couple, boy. They just seemed to, you know, but of course, we're just seeing 30 minutes of their life. But anyhow, they said they knew the worst place to get induced was in triage. Oh yeah, they were in triage. They had to wait an hour to get into triage, so I guess they weren't worried about her bleeding. And then they got in there and they said, you know, you can go home and come back in 4 days because they had induction planned, and then they could be in a room. Well, they said you'd have your delivery room. I think they just didn't know what they were talking about because, you know, they were first-time parents, nervous, whatever. But anyhow, and they were thinking, right when they said that, I thought, to me, that's a no-brainer. He got some bleeding, and they don't really know what it's happening from. I'm not going home for another 3-4 days, and then, God forbid, something happens. As much as induction is horrifying, I'd rather go through it and know my baby was safe. So, anyhow, then she started talking about the induction, and what a cute couple, I must say. They started the video out with, yes, we did have a baby that day we went. And she had the baby in one of those things where you strap the baby, you wear your baby. So it looked, they could have fooled and looked like she was just pregnant because that's what it looks like. But anyhow, she started talking about that she hadn't progressed. She was only a half a centimeter dilated. Look it up. I can't explain it all. This will be it's already long, the video, sorry. But anyhow, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so they put in a Foley balloon? That's a Foley catheter. I don't know. Thought you said Foley balloon. Well, some kind of balloon they put in, and that's supposed to dilate you, so I must have had that. But I remember in my case, I had medicine first, because all my deliveries, I refused medicine. No, and I remember my one doctor says, you're going to regret it. You only have a short window opportunity. Nope. Epidural, it'll be good. You can enjoy it. Nope. I just love to, what's it called, a masochist? When you like torture? No, I don't like torture, but I didn't want any medicine into my brand new, fresh baby, fresh from God, coming into this earthly side full of drugs. So anyhow, and this time, because they told me they were going to induce me, and I know with induction comes Pitocin, and that was that was my worst fear in life, because I heard that is terrible. And I don't know, maybe if you're pregnant, maybe don't watch this. I don't want to scare you, but this is truthful. I'm going to tell. But anyhow, so she's explaining what happened. And I guess this is crossing over to what happened to me now. So anyhow, get the Foley. Didn't work. Well, whatever, the balloon didn't work. Then they put a thing, Cetaphil, I don't know, it doesn't sound like some kind of like suppository, but in the front, not in the bottom area, your buttocks, not in your buttocks hole, obviously. So they do that. I thought they did that before the balloon. Maybe not. No, the balloon, that sounds right. And so in my case, it wasn't working. Baby was way too early. I mean, he was 9 weeks early. And so in my case, and I had preeclampsia, and our lives were both in danger. As it happened in the morning, a doctor who was on call came in and said, we have to get this baby out now because all the numbers are bad. You're spilling protein and blah, blah, blah. And so we could both have died. So we had to get the baby out. They had to induce. But this doctor was just like an angel on earth, because I would have thought, she says, we're doing C-section. But she knew how scared I was of C-section. So she was kind of, gambling. I didn't know it at the time, but now when I look back, she wanted to,